They're really not happy about this one. They are really not happy to realize everyone's having to go back on what they've said. You've now got like Sydney Colson signing for the Fever, and this one they're not happy about.
The WNBA world is stunned. Fans are confused and players are speechless. Did the Fever just make the most iconic move ever, or the biggest mistake in league history? Either way, we're here for the chaos. So, let's break things down.
So, start this, and yeah, there's a narrative out there that Kathy made the call, all right? Kathy Engelbert. Oh, we got to make sure we get Caitlin Clark the championship, and I told you there's narrative floating. Number one, they're freaking out. Number two, the next thing you're about to hear is Caitlin Clark needs a super team to win a championship. So they're going to downgrade her status, and they're going to shit on her over that. It's already started. That's where they're going with this, folks.
WNBA fans are losing their minds. And Aces fans? Oh, they're in shambles. They can't believe what's happening. They've been spoiled for too long, thinking the league revolves around them. And now, the Indiana Fever have been out here making moves. Big moves.
So to pick up a vet, a professional like Sydney Colson, and then you also have a vet like DeWanna Bonner, and you also have a vet like Kelsey Mitchell, and then you have Cece and Aaliyah Boston and Lexi and the MAGA Barbie, and isn't Katie Lou still on your team too? So I mean, shout out to the Indiana Fever, but it's clear that this is a scheme that Todd set up to get Cece a ring.
Players suddenly realizing, oh wait, if I go to Indiana, I might actually get some attention? Yeah, that's happening. And now the Fever have been stacking up signings left and right, building what's about to be one of the most fun, most dangerous teams in the league. And guess who just decided to join them? That's right, Sydney Colson.
Oh, this has actually been the shock of free agency. Like, I'm being dead serious here. This is the shock of free agency. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The shock of free agency is the fact that the Fever signed their backup point guard, and it might be one of the best vets in the entire WNBA.
Now Aces fans are sitting there like, wait, why would she leave? Why would anybody go to Indiana? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because they're actually about to be the center of the WNBA universe? Maybe because people actually want to play on a team that's about to have every game nationally televised? Maybe because Caitlin Clark just changed the entire business of women's basketball and players are finally seeing that Indiana is the spot?
The Caitlin Clark thing is a great point, and it's so special that men get a chance to actually watch a really, really good women's basketball player, or arguably the best women's college basketball player ever. Special to see, and something that you probably will always look back on and go, Caitlin Clark, I watched her when I was younger. She's that.
Meanwhile, Aces fans are shaking, sweating, and stress-eating, screaming, "They're ruining the league! This isn't fair!" Oh, you mean like how the Aces were basically a super team? You mean like how y'all had your little fun while everyone else had to sit back and suffer? But now it's a problem? Now the league is rigged? It wasn't rigged when y'all had all the stars, right? But the second Indiana starts getting stacked, suddenly you want to investigate? And let's not even get started on A'ja Wilson. Oh, she's mad.
Yeah. So, A'ja. Nah, this is tough.
She sees the tides turning and suddenly she's looking over her shoulder. Wait, people are going to talk about Caitlin Clark more than me? People are going to care about the Fever more than the Aces? Yes, A'ja, that's exactly what's happening. Your little run? It's about to be over. Your fans? They're about to go through something they've never experienced before. Irrelevance.
Boy, was I in shock when I just read that ESPN has reported that Sydney Colson is signing with the Indiana Fever. I am so curious about what A'ja Wilson has to say. I can only imagine that it is, very professional. That was not on my bingo card.
See, here's the thing. People didn't expect the Fever to be this active, but why wouldn't they be? Caitlin Clark is basically a walking business empire at this point. The Fever front office knows exactly what they're doing. They aren't just building a good team, they're building a dynasty. Aces fans can cry all they want, but guess what? This is happening whether they like it or not. So go ahead, Aces fans. Keep yelling about how the league is rigged. Keep making excuses. Keep crying on social media. The rest of us? We're gonna sit back, relax, and enjoy watching the Fever take over. It's a new era, and you all just have to deal with it.
Sydney Colson is going to the Indiana Fever. I don't think anyone saw this in the cards, literally. I personally feel like it's a good pickup. I think it's a well upgrade over Erica Wheeler. No shade to her. A lot of people are like surprised as to why she didn't stay in Vegas. And in all honesty, there's a lot of reasons why she may feel called to leave the Aces.
Asia Wilson recently tweeted, "Have you seen the rest of my teammates? There will still be cake this year. I already got the design." Well, Asia, we've seen your teammates, and while they might bring the cake, the Indiana Fever is bringing the whole bakery this season. The Fever's lineup is so stacked, even the pastry chefs are taking notes. Let's talk about the Fever's roster. They've retained key players like Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and the sensational Caitlin Clark. Adding to this powerhouse, they've acquired Natasha Howard, DeWanna Bonner, and Sophie Cunningham. It's like they've assembled the Avengers of basketball. And guess what? Your former teammate and friend, Sydney Colson, has jumped ship to join the Fever on a one-year deal.
When you're talking about GOATs of the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, Asia, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades.
Well, MVP is going to be a lot more difficult this year. Sydney's move to the Fever isn't just a casual transfer. It's a statement. She sees the championship potential brewing in Indiana and wants a piece of that action. It's like choosing the winning lottery numbers before the draw. Now let's be real. The Aces had their moment, but this season, they're looking more like the jokers of the league. While they're busy designing cakes, the Fever is cooking up a championship feast. So Asia, while you're admiring your teammates and planning cake designs, the rest of us are gearing up to watch the Indiana Fever dominate the court. This season, it's all about the Fever's firepower, and they're ready to light up the league. The Indiana Fever's lineup is a force to be reckoned with. With their star-studded roster and championship aspirations, they're set to make this season unforgettable. So, Asia Wilson, enjoy your cake, but don't be surprised when the Fever takes the whole bakery.
Look, this is gonna be good and bad for the Fever. And this is gonna be good and bad for CC. Because if CC can't get a ring with the Super Avengers that Kathy and the Indiana Fever has assembled, then
Caitlin Clark haters are losing their minds right now. They swore up and down that she wouldn't succeed in the WNBA, that she'd struggle, that Indiana Fever would be a bottom feeder team. Fast forward to today, and Caitlin is walking into a championship-ready squad, while her haters are left scrambling for excuses. And now? Oh, now they're crying, the league is rigged, because reality slapped them harder than an Aaliyah Boston block. The same people who said nobody wants to play with Caitlin. I just watched 2 WNBA champions, DeWanna Bonner and Sydney Colson, choose to join the Fever. Let that sink in. The players they swore would never team up with Caitlin are now her teammates. What a tragic day for the haters.
What do you mean Sydney Colson is joining the Indiana Fever? What does that mean? Indiana is just being so fucking greedy right now. They took DB, they took Natasha. Now they got Sydney Colson. Like, why would they take Sydney from us?
Let's talk about DeWanna Bonner for a second. This woman has been an elite player in the league for over a decade, and she could have gone anywhere. Yet, she picked Indiana. Why? Because she sees what's happening. She sees the future of the WNBA being built in Indianapolis. She sees a team that is about to run through the league like a tornado through a cornfield. And then there's Sydney Colson. Oh, this one's got a sting for Aces fans. Their funniest player just left their little group chat to go be part of a real squad. She said, "You know what? I think I'd rather play with Caitlin Clark and win something." Caitlin Clark, the so-called overhyped rookie, is now stepping into a team that is built to dominate. The Fever already had Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hall, 3 players who can take over a game at any moment. Now add Bonner, add Colson, add championship DNA. What does that spell? It spells, uh-oh, for the rest of the league.
free agents want to play in Indiana. Oh my God, what a shocker. Natasha Howard, free agent, chooses to come to Indiana. DeWanna Bonner, free agent, chooses to come to Indiana. Sydney Colson, free agent, chooses to come to Indiana. Sophie Cunningham, we know Sophie Cunningham didn't mind coming to Indiana. And Sophie, Indiana, we don't mind having you.
And let's be honest, no fan base is taking this harder than Aces fans. They're sitting there watching their so-called dynasty crumble in real time, realizing that two of their biggest trash talkers just joined forces with the most talented player in the draft. It's a nightmare scenario for them. First, they had to watch Caitlin Clark become the biggest name in basketball. Now, they have to watch her possibly win a championship before A'ja Wilson can even tweet about her next cake. This isn't just bad news for Caitlin Clark haters. It's absolute devastation. They've spent the last year slandering her, pretending like she was going to fail, and now they have to sit back and watch as she gets set up for a deep playoff run in her very first season. So yeah, keep crying, keep throwing tantrums. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are gearing up for a season that's about to shake the entire WNBA, and there's nothing the haters can do about it.
Went up and snatched Sid Colson from the Aces. She is 100% vibes. She is 100% going to be a backup for Caitlin. It's going to be fantastic. Backup for Kelsey. Like, she is a great addition to this backcourt. She has senior leadership. She has championship experience. She is the most fun ever. And Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever front office is not messing around. They are putting everything in place to make sure that this year is a championship caliber team, and every addition, it gets better and better and better.
No more participation trophies, no more rebuilding excuses. The roster just got an upgrade for the Indiana Fever, and the league is about to feel it because Natasha Howard is here and she's ready to remind everyone why she's got multiple rings. She rebounds like she's collecting rent money and blocks shots like she's rejecting bad Tinder matches. Aaliyah Boston finally has a partner in crime in the paint. Then we got DeWanna Bonner. Oh, you thought she was slowing down? Nah. Bonner is still out here making defenders question everything. She can shoot, she can drive, and she can give you that "I'm about to ruin your night" bucket whenever she feels like it. And let's be honest, her basketball IQ is higher than Aces fans' expectations after a bad call. You all know exactly what I mean.
Kelly was going to get a player that could come in, or players that was plug and play. Plug them up, they going to be ready to go to work each and every night they number get called. This is how you build a championship basketball team. This is how you put together history in the making. And my friends, Caitlin Clark is about to become a WNBA champion.
Sophie Cunningham. Oh yeah? You think you're going to try Caitlin Clark this season? Nah. Sophie is that friend who shows up when things get real. She's got that "you touch my point guard, you meet my elbows" energy, and that's exactly what the Fever needs. She's not here for your nonsense, and neither is Caitlin. The WNBA wanted competition? Well, here it is. Howard is locking down the paint, Bonner is cooking defenders, and Sophie is keeping the energy so high it should come with a warning label. And let's talk about those Aces fans real quick. Oh, you all thought this was still your league? Cute.
What the Indiana Fever did last night got me so excited. The Fever, if you haven't been paying attention, they are really active.
Oh, you feel that? That's the shift, the takeover. The Caitlin Clark era is here, and let me tell you, not everyone is built to handle it. A'ja thought she had this in the bag. HA! Not anymore. The Fever are cooking. Rival teams thought Indiana was just here for vibes. Wrong. They're here for the title. And Caitlin Clark, she's going to be out here draining logo threes, throwing dimes, and making defenders look like they just woke up from a deep nap. That MVP trophy might need a new address because Caitlin Clark is here and she's winning everything. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.